Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium singles video here on iStar Elite TV, my Road to Master series here where I try to climb the online ranked Battle Stadium singles ladder. So we have a brand new season. The rules are exactly the same, so no new Pokemon have been added to the rule set, but since it's the beginning of the month now, our rankings have reset, so I'm probably now back in Great Ball tier. So let's see how fast we can climb back to Master Ball. I don't expect to get to Master Ball in this video, because even if I win every game, I'm probably only doing about 3, maybe 4 battles here. And, you know, usually it takes longer, but we'll see. Anyways, we have a new team here, and this is a team that I built myself, and I've been really liking it, so I'm going to talk about it. A lot of these Pokemon are pretty standard things I've been using, so I'm not going to spend too much time on those. However, you'll probably notice one Pokemon on the team that does not see a lot of play, and of course I'm talking about FlutterMane. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're talking about Staraptor there as number 3. Now, this is a really random tidbit here, but let me talk about this for a brief second here. I have this weird kind of like superstition kind of thing where when I make teams, I kind of care about the order. It probably does not matter anywhere near as much as I think it does, but when you look at the opponent team, like when you and your opponent get to look at each other's teams on the team preview and they're lined up, you know, 1 through 6, for some reason I have it in my mind that like whichever Pokemon I put first, or like whichever like 2 Pokemon I put first, my opponent like is gonna automatically like focus on those and like bring Pokemon to counter them or something like that. I know it's pretty much a superstition. I know it's probably not exactly true, right? But that's why you'll see when I talk about teams why I kind of jump around a lot, and I sometimes start by talking about like some of the middle Pokemon, because I try to like, this sounds so dumb, and I don't even know why I'm admitting this, but I try to like strategically place them in an order where the opponent might not exactly get to, you know, suss out exactly what I'm trying to do with my strategy. Honestly, I doubt it matters. If there's ever been a time where that's actually given me a benefit in the battle, it's probably happened once out of probably 1,000 battles. But anyways, let's get to the team here. Let's talk about Staraptor. So Staraptor is actually kind of one of my favorite Pokemon, at least in Gen 4. I've always loved it. I love how it's the traditional bird Pokemon you get early game, but it's actually really good and it actually hits really hard. It has Intimidate, which is amazing. However, this one, of course, is hidden ability with Reckless, which boosts the power of your recoil moves, such as Brave Bird and Double Edge. And this is a set that I used to run in like 6th and 7th gen, and it would just hit so hard. Choice Band, Adamant Nature with Reckless, spamming Brave Bird with not too many things resisting it, does so much damage. Bulky Pokemon, or basically any Pokemon that doesn't resist it, takes a ton of damage, and even some Pokemon that do resist it that are not super bulky will also take a ton of damage. So that's my goal here, and I think that Terastallization adds something new here where we get to Terraflying, we get to, you know, Terastallize into a flying type, which will further boost the power of Brave Bird. And at that point, you know, there's very few things in the meta that can actually switch into that, right? Even Pokemon like Ting-Lu, who are super tanky, will not enjoy taking a Choice Band, Adamant, Reckless boosted, Terraflying boosted Brave Bird. So that's kind of my goal here, as I tend to like to play Pokemon like this, where the goal is just to hit as hard as possible, just blast through things without the opponent really knowing what to do. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I kind of started this team by wanting to use Staraptor, this exact Staraptor set, and then I kind of just built around it, as I typically tend to do. So one Pokemon you'll notice here, I guess we'll try to go in order here, and I'm not going to spend too much time like I said, but we have FlutterMane. This is a new FlutterMane set. It's pretty traditional, but I am running Booster Energy, and then I'm running Max Special Attack, and then just enough speed to get the Booster Energy speed boost. So I have 1 more point in speed than my Special Attack, and then I'm also running the rest of the EVs in defense, which probably doesn't matter given how frail FlutterMane is, but I think I did some calcs. Honestly, I forgot which the calcs were for, but I did some calcs where I do survive certain hits against certain physical attackers that I otherwise would not normally survive. So the awkward thing here is I actually have Terra Normal, and the complete honest truth about that is I wanted this to be Terra Fire, and when I was testing this team on Showdown, I was using Terra Fire FlutterMane. And I actually, unfortunately, don't have any more Terra Fire Terra Shards, so I just settled on normal because I think it's a pretty solid Terra type for it. Gives me a decent matchup against opposing FlutterManes, because if they happen to go for Shadow Ball, I can just Terra normal, and then out of nowhere I just am immune to their move. It also gives me a slightly better matchup against Goldango. So yeah, I think Terra Normal's still a decent option, but I wanted it to be Terra Fire. Anyway, then we've got Breloom. I've used it on a previous team, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. It's just, Focus Sash, Max Attack, Max Speed, and those moves. Breloom's pretty good. I thought it would complement Staraptor's game plan. Then we've got Ting-Lu, because I wanted a Pokemon that can set up rocks, and I think Ting-Lu's probably the best Stealth Rock setter in the meta right now. Remember the days of Garchomp in Scarlet and Violet, where Garchomp was like one of the best Pokemon? Garchomp is kind of like nowhere to be found in the meta anymore, which is really sad. I miss it. Then we've got my bulky Dragonite set with almost max HP and then max defense. Bulky, Dragon Dance with Roost, heavy duty boots. This one's pretty good. I've used it before pretty recently, and I mean, it's Dragonite. What else can you say about it? Finally, we have Magnezone, where the EVs and item and moves and Terra type are exactly the same as Magnezones that I've used in the past. The difference here is that I'm actually running Magnet Pull instead of Analytic. Honestly, I think in so many more cases, Analytic is the better ability. However, of course, the reason I'm running Magnet Pull here is so that I can trap Steel types and then hopefully knock them out, and then Staraptor will have a much easier time. Pokemon I'm thinking about more specifically are things like Corviknight, where Staraptor kind of can't do anything to Corviknight, so I could try to trap it with Magnezone, knock it out with a powerful electric move, and then once Corviknight's out of the way, Staraptor can opt and just clean up. There is a lot less viability with Magnet Pull these days, however, because another prominent Steel type in the meta is Goldango, and what I found is that Goldango very often will Terrastalize, meaning it's no longer a Steel type, meaning that you can no longer lock it in with Magnet Pull, so a little awkward. Although I guess at the same time, if Goldango Terrastalizes, it will no longer it'll no longer resist Staraptor's moves, so yeah, I guess that's something. But anyways, let's try this team out. I'm really excited to try Staraptor in Battle Stadium Singles. I guess I'm taking a little bit of a risk here, given that the ranking has reset. So if this team ends up not being that good, I might lose, and it might take me longer to get to Master Ball, but I'm not too worried about that. Let's go to game number 1. All right, my opponent's team, as often happens when I build teams like this, my question first is, does Staraptor look good here? And the answer is mostly yes. Now, Rotom might be, it's tanky, Rotom might give me trouble. Goldango's also scary, but at the same time, Goldango's not super bulky, so I don't think Goldango would want to switch into Staraptor. However, actually, the more I'm thinking about it, it's funny because, they don't have too many things that resist Staraptor, but then they also have Dragonite, which has multi-scale, which I don't enjoy. And then they also have Mimikyu, which I didn't notice immediately, which has that disguise. So I actually don't know if I want to bring Staraptor here. I do want to bring it, but I'm gonna need to plan for Mimikyu and Dragonite most of all, which is funny because those Pokemon don't even resist Staraptor. So in that case, with that in mind, who should I be bringing otherwise? Kind of like Breloom here with the Spore, although I'm not too sure about that. I also like FlutterMane. Oh no, I'm running out of time already. Oh no, Ting-Lu. Do I want to bring Ting-Lu? I actually don't know if I want to. Okay, I'm gonna have to lead with Breloom, and then FlutterMane seems okay. Now the downside here is if I choose wrongly. Now that was a result of me just kind of taking too long. If I lose this lead matchup, like if my opponent chooses a Pokemon that beats me in this lead matchup, I'm actually going to be on the back foot because, of course, Staraptor is not a Pokemon that can switch into stuff. So they do lead with their Dragonite, which is pretty interesting. Now, if they don't have too much speed investment, there is a chance that I outspeed them. I think I just start with a Spore here. They actually don't have a switch in this. Well, they do have Goldango, actually. That's the whole reason. The whole reason I'm running Bulldoze is because of Goldango, because otherwise it would completely wall me. Now, let's go for Spore here. I don't really see a reason to not go for Spore. I guess worst case scenario is if they're faster than me and they have Substitute. That would be a horrible situation for me if that's the case, because then I can't really break a sub from Dragonite. But they are going to just go ahead and switch, which is actually fine, even if they go into Goldango, because it'll at least give me that information. Of course they do go into Goldango, so yeah. I mean, one of the reasons Breloom is not as good as it could be is because Goldango is so good in the meta. Goldango is just like an amazing counter to it. I think I'm just gonna Bulldoze though. I mean, they could Terra, they don't though, wow. And they're slower than me. That's pretty good information. We do lower their speed, not that it really matters. And now I have the question of whether I want to stay in and Bulldoze again, or... Thing is... Now, okay. My Sash is now broken, so Breloom's not a good matchup for Dragonite anymore. However, there's something to be said about the potential to Mach Punch Dragonite. Huh. I think I just stay in. I mean, Bulldoze, unfortunately, just did not do that much damage. Oh, they're switching. Wow. Well, if they go into Dragonite, I'm actually fine just Mach Punching and then hoping they just knock me out. Although if they have Extreme Speed, never mind. Yeah, I guess that's a good play on my opponent's part. If they have Extreme Speed here, then that would just be faster than Mach Punch. So it actually is pretty bad for me. This might be a risk, but I'm just going to go into FlutterMane now. If we can weaken this Dragonite and kind of get through that multi-scale, there is a situation or a world where we could end up possibly sweeping with Staraptor. So my hope is that they go Extreme Speed here, which I will be immune to. We are going to burn our Booster Energy, but in this particular game, Booster Energy is not going to really matter too much because my FlutterMane's faster than everything on their team, even without a Booster Energy. I think I just go Moonblast. Shadow Ball's pretty predictable. I think I just go Moonblast to get off as much damage as possible. If they go into Goldango, we can just follow it up with whatever move we want. My opponent does Terrastalize. This could be Terra Steel. Now, that's the beauty. I've said this before. The beauty of Dragonite, one of the reasons is just straight up... It is Terra Steel, of course. Oh, God, that's actually really bad for me. Oh, no. But anyways, you know, this is really bad for me. But one of the reasons that Dragonite is so good is because it can Terra into so many different things. And I actually considered going Terra Normal here, and that actually would have saved me. But now we're in just a really rough position. Huh. Okay. We know they have Extreme Speed, so there's just about no reason to go into Breloom. In the Dragonite matchup, Breloom is pretty much as good as dead anyway, so I just kind of have to go into Staraptor here. My opponent's probably going to go for Extreme Speed, which this might be a losing fight. If I happen to knock them out here, which I don't expect to be the case, then let's see. Okay, so Brave Bird would be... I don't think we can go for Brave Bird here. I think we have to just close combat. I was just trying to think, like, how much damage would Brave Bird do? Are they going to go Goldango here? Yeah, they probably are, right? Yeah, this is rough. This is such a rough match. Rough start. I just can't win this one. All right, that was a rough start, everyone. I'm a little embarrassed about that. I mean, okay, because the thing is, I was choice banded, locked into close combat. I switch into Breloom there, right? And then they probably knock me out by going for whatever move they want, pretty much. And, I mean, like I said, Breloom was pretty much as good as dead against their Dragonite. I mean, it just so happened that they had Terra Steel on Dragonite. But, you know, as I was pretty much saying, you know, it's just funny that the one Terra type on Dragonite that pretty much guarantees that they, like, I can't really do too much against them is the one that they have. But Dragonite can be so many different Terra types. Terra Steel, Terra Normal, Terra Fairy. I think those are the three most common on it. I'm pretty sure. But even beyond that, I think there's a lot of good options for it. So that's the scary thing about Dragonite, is you kind of just don't know what Terra type it's going to be. And it's just such a threatening Pokemon by itself. But anyways, that game was a good learning lesson. I know I lost, which is kind of awkward. And it was kind of over quickly, like I ended up forfeiting, but I think that's still a good one to leave in there just because it shows like some thought process with the team, but also like ways that mistakes we make can really cost us there. Anyway, oops. My opponent's team is pretty interesting. Staraptor. Now, my opponent's team has a lot of fast Pokemon that can just do a ton of damage to Staraptor. So I'm not sure this is going to be a Staraptor game. I love me some Staraptor, but honestly, it might not be quite as good. On Showdown, it was doing okay for me. But anyways, this does look like a decent Dragonite game. I also like Ting-Lu here. I want to get up those rocks. Although I don't think I want to lead with it because of the bundle. I wonder if Breloom, if just simply having Breloom on my team might scare my opponent from bringing Iron Bundle as a lead. Huh. What about Flutter? Actually, maybe FlutterMane's the right call instead of Dragonite. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go like this. Again, I don't want to bring Ting-Lu first because if they lead with Iron Bundle, we're just in such a bad spot. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to get my Breloom Sash broken so early. I don't know. We'll see. By the way, I love my trainer card. Maybe I'll change it up for this new season. Maybe every season I'll do a new trainer card. That's what I did in Sword and Shield, and that was a lot of fun. All right, they lead Bundle, just as I thought. Now, they could have Substitute. Though if they don't, we can just put them to sleep. We also do have Mach Punch. I could possibly Terra and Mach Punch here. Terra fighting is actually not that bad against their team too. They have one notable resist in the form of Iron Moth. Actually really tempted to do this. You know, I could Terrastallize Ting-Lu here, but that also doesn't seem quite as important. I'm gonna go for it. I mean, yeah, like, I don't know. That's the thing here. I don't feel like I'm great at making predictions. Sometimes I make really good predictions, and then sometimes I like over predict. Sometimes I don't predict the most obvious stuff. I'm just like kind of all over the place when it comes to making good predictions. But in this case, this seems like a best case scenario kind of, because they actually don't have, like I said earlier in the team preview, they don't have too many things that resist this. So they don't really have a good switch in. And we just cleanly knocked them out. Okay, and that wasn't even a crit. Wow, okay, so I think that ended up being a really solid play for me. Like I said, sometimes I make plays that are crazy like that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I make really dumb plays. I'm all over the place, but that was a lot of fun. That was a good one. All right, they go into, I was gonna call it Whiscash. Now these things do, I mean, these things are not quite as common, but they do often run Sleep Talk. I actually really don't like being up against it. I'm gonna Spore anyway, even though that's kind of an obvious, well, you know what, actually that was a really bad play because these actually typically run Terra Grass. So, that they don't Terrastallize though, interesting. Like I said though, they do run Sleep Talk. We'll just see what they were gonna do here though, because even if they do Sleep Talk, it's still possible that they randomly choose a move that's not good. Oh, okay, interesting. I feel like Bullet Seed is obvious here. I wonder if I just preserve Breloom here. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Ting-Lu. Now that we've knocked out their Iron Bundle, I feel like I can play a little bit more kind of recklessly because we're ahead in Pokemon. So I'm actually tempted to just Whirlwind right away while they're asleep. Of course, it's possible they could wake up. Huh, should I just Stealth Rock? Maybe I Stealth Rock first. They do have a couple fire Pokemon that could be on their team. And even if they wake up in Wave Crash, they'll take a lot of damage, and then they might not even kill me, but even if they do kill me, I can just go into something else and just try to get off a lot of damage on them. And if they take a lot of damage from the Wave Crash, then it might be easier to knock them out with something like FlutterMane or even Breloom. And we know that either they're not Terra Grassed or they just didn't go for it there, so it's possible Breloom could come in and threaten to put it to sleep again. We also did not see Sleep Talk, so I think this is actually a fine situation for us all around. I just want to go for rocks just in case they have the, you know, either Chi-Yu or Iron Moth, and right there it shows that we are faster than them, which is actually good information. They do wake up though. And they do go Wave Crash, of course, sure. I feel like I live this. Oh yeah, I live this really well, okay. They take not a lot of recoil. I'm just gonna Whirlwind now. Just kind of shuffle them around. I know that Dondozo, I feel like they do commonly run Rest. But if they're running Rest, I'm really surprised that they didn't go for, what's it called? Sleep Talk. So they definitely do not have Sleep Talk. They also run Fissure, which if you've seen previous videos for me, you know that that's kind of my worst nightmare. I've lost to some Fissures in the past. They're thinking though. I did just click Whirlwinds. A best case scenario is if they go into something like Iron Moth or Chi-Yu, which take a lot of damage from Stealth Rock, and then we go for Whirlwind, which means that they basically take that damage for nothing. Okay, they Wave Crash, which is also just kind of okay for me because it's gonna again get more damage on this Dondozo. And we get our Citrus Berry, which is cool because that might mean we possibly live another hit from something as it comes in. But this will also give us that information of who their last Pokemon is, which will let us play accordingly, given that we have 3 Pokemon left. So I like the position that we're in. And again, the fact that my Ting-Lu is faster than their Dondozo could come back to help us in the future. I think Iron Hands is slow. I think there's a chance ooh, are they booster? Oh no, leftovers. If they were booster, I was gonna say I could just Whirlwind them again. I'm just gonna Earthquake here. I might die, that's fine. I might be faster. I should really know my speed tiers with these new Pokemon. But even if I'm not faster and they just go for like close combat or something, I think that's okay. Because I'm pretty sure Breloom is faster than this, so we can always just go into Breloom and Spore. So I really like our position here, at least with Breloom and Spore. Like I kind of feel like we're just in a really solid spot. And we know that Breloom's Mach Punch is not resisted by their last 2 Pokemon, so we can kind of just freely spam that if we get to a point where their Pokemon are kind of low on health. They are taking a long time to think though. I wonder what they're thinking about. Either they have some like really big decision to make, or what? Was that a misclick? I'm sorry. Well, we know they're faster than us, which is actually kind of rough. Let me know in the comments whether you think that was a misclick or a crazy prediction, right? Maybe they thought like it was so obvious that they would die, that I would die to like a fighting move, that they went for Thunder Punch there. I don't know. I mean, maybe they, because they don't know for sure that I have FlutterMane. They actually don't know who my 3rd Pokemon is yet. But that's got to be a super crazy prediction to say, oh, they have FlutterMane and I'm going to go for Thunder Punch because they're going to go into FlutterMane, right? I feel like Drain Punch is still the safer bet, especially because Iron Hands can probably survive a hit from FlutterMane. Depends. That was a weird one. That could have been a misclick, or that could have just been a crazy 5-head prediction. And then I'm just playing like very basically and, you know, ended up... What? Bro? Are you okay? Are they throwing? I have no idea what's going on here. I don't love that. Well, the funny thing is, now that they're just going... I mean, they could be choice, but now that they're just going for Thunder Punch, are they just, like, timer stalling, maybe? We're not doing that much damage to them, which is kind of unfortunate. Kind of want to Whirlwind. I'm going to Whirlwind. Just get that thing out of here. Whirlwind them into Dondozo and then just go Ruination on that and hope they knock me out with Wave Crash. And yeah, we'll see. Because I think FlutterMane can just, like I've been saying, like if we get it to a point where both of their last 2 Pokemon are pretty weak, FlutterMane can just clean up. I wonder if they're just kind of timer stalling. I'm just going to cut ahead if it comes to that, because it seems like they are just letting the timer run out. So let's see. Well, I'm definitely not switching now. Yeah, we Whirlwind now. I never saw the animation for Whirlwind. I always use it on Pokemon Showdown, but I don't think I've ever really seen the animation in Scarlet and Violet. Okay, so they go back into... We throw them back into Dondozo. I feel like they probably also have a Rocky Helmet, but anyway, whatever. I'm gonna cut ahead if my opponent keeps taking long. Alright, my opponent just timer stalled there, which has never happened to me before, so off to a weird start this season. We've had a couple of not great games so far, but let's hope the third one can make up for that. And we have game number 3 with a team that actually has no resists for Staraptor, so I'm going to bring it. However, the scary thing is most of their Pokemon are faster than Staraptor, so they have those two bulky ones, Ting-Lu and Wo-Chien, both of which are slower than Staraptor and should take a lot of damage, but like I said, everything else on their team is a lot faster, so we're going to have to play smartly here, which, again, is hit or miss. They don't have any steel types, so we don't really need Magnezone, but also their special attackers are kind of scary against Zone, and, you know, Baxcalibur typically runs Earthquake, so I don't know that I want to bring Magnezone. I might just end up bringing Dragonite. Dragonite's also not that great here, though. I think I might want to bring Breloom. Although Breloom also suffers from... It struggles against particularly Baxcalibur because they have the Icicle Spear, which is pretty scary. But I do want FlutterMane and I do want Staraptor. Wonder if I lead FlutterMane. I actually think I'm going to. Kind of scary, though, because if they set up rocks, we could be in a lot of trouble. My opponent's team is scary, let's just say that. I do always say that, though. Let's go for trainer card watch. Let's see how good my opponent's trainer card is. Nice. I do like it. I don't know why their hand is right there, but yeah, anyways. My Tatsugiri's still better, though, right? They lead with an Ultra Ball, and that is Ting-Lu, which I kind of expected. Hopefully FlutterMane can scare them out. Oh, I forgot about this, of course. Well, maybe that's not going to happen. I think I'm still just going to click Moonblast, though. I'm just going to click Moonblast, just see how much it does. I feel like it's pretty likely they're just going to Stealth Rock. It's already off to a rough start, though, let's say. Nice. Okay, that is going to be a 2-hit KO. No, it's not. Also, Ting-Lu typically runs, I think, Terra Poison, so they could Terrastalize here to survive the next one. They do just go Ruination, though. Interesting. It's kind of cute. FlutterMane's cute. Let's hope this one kills it. They might, if they Terrastalize, I think I'm okay with that, because then I just go into Staraptor, and they've already used their Terrastalize, which I'm fine with. Yikes. Okay, everyone. Now I just go Breloom and knock them out. But I don't love the position I'm in, although we're kind of even now once I knock this thing out. They do have FlutterMane, though, so honestly, I just Bullet Seed, right? I was going to Spore. If they're predicting... Actually, I'm going to Spore. If they're predicting Mach Punch, they have a few good switch-ins to... Yeah, this is just the safest play. Because if they had gone into FlutterMane, Iron Moth, or Dragapult against... Or on the Mach Punch, that's pretty scary for us. But I guess they also don't want to switch into a Spore. Now I'm just going to Bullet Seed. Because... I guess I could have Bulldozed as well. I'm just going to Bullet Seed, though, because I know I'm faster than them. If they go into FlutterMane here, they're dead. If they go into Moth or Dragapult, they at least take some damage, so... Okay. I wondered if they were going to switch there because they were taking a little bit of time. I wonder if they were thinking that I could be like Swords Dance or something. I don't know. Either way, though, we are both at 2 Pokemon remaining. I'm scared, though, because my 2 Pokemon are very volatile. They're both very precarious, I guess you could say. See who they bring in. Baxcalibur is probably a worst-case scenario. This thing does typically run Terra Grass. So that's the crazy thing. If they're gonna be Terra Grass, we might have to predict and go Mach Punch. If they're not Terra Grass, though, we want to go Spore, but I feel like it's pretty likely they're going to be Terra Grass, right? If we mispredict, though, and they don't go Terra Grass, we're kind of dead. The thing is, we kind of lose if that's the case. But also, it's also the case if... Oh, God, this is actually bad. I'm going to Mach Punch. Nice. They are Terra. It's probably Terra Grass, which means we might be able to 2-hit KO them with a Mach Punch, which is actually amazing for us. Terra Fire. Oh, wow. I was going to go Bulldoze, but I didn't want them to go Terra Grass. If I had gone Bulldoze, this would be amazing, but this might still knock them out. Oh, yes. Well, it doesn't knock them out, but the next one will. However, once again, they do have 2 ghost types that they could possibly switch into here. Honestly, if they just do that, they could win. But, so once again, it's a situation where if I mispredict, I lose. Well, yeah, okay, we knocked them out. Perfect, okay. Now if their last one is Baxcalibur with no Ice Shard, we might be able to win. Let's see what happens here. This is a scary one. At least this is a close battle. That could have gone really wrong there. Oh, it's Baxcalibur. All right, we might still lose though. I think, I don't think I'm faster than them. I think they're expecting me to go, they have Ice Shard, okay. Huh. Now the question is, well, there's 2 questions here. Are we faster than them? And do we survive an Ice Shard? I guess also Baxcalibur... Oh wait, no, never mind. I was going to say Baxcalibur does sometimes run Terra Electric, but they've already Terastallized. Let's finish this in style, everyone. If they knock us out, either if they're faster or if they knock us out with Ice Shard, our fire fizzles out. But if not, this could be a Staraptor cleanup. I think I'm faster than them. Oh, yes. I'm pretty sure this kills. This is the whole reason we're running this move. There we go. There we go. All right, so the final game, we get to show off the whole reason I'm running Staraptor, which I love. I know we didn't really get to show it off too well in the previous games, but, you know, as I've been kind of doing, I might just end up running this team back in the next video. Maybe if I have time this week, I'll play a little bit offline to rank up a little bit so that we can get better games. Well, this game was really good, but the previous 2 games were not in either favor. But yeah, so we can show off more Staraptor because I really want to show it off, but also at the same time, you know, the season is the same as last season with the same rule set, and unfortunately we still don't have Pokemon Home yet, nor any news about it. So, you know, I don't really want the meta to get stale. You know, there's not too many other Pokemon to try out. I mean, I guess there are a lot. I'm going to start brainstorming new Pokemon to use. So I'll make a new team, you know, after this one, but maybe for the next video I'll show off this team. But feel free to let me know in the comments if you don't mind me using the same teams like a couple times, you know, in a couple different videos. Let me know, and I'm definitely happy to do that because I do like this team a lot. But again, if you'd prefer to see brand new teams every time, also let me know. Once we finally get Regulation, I'm assuming it'd be called Regulation D, right? Which sounds really funny. Once we get that new rule set, I'm imagining a lot of the like 7-star raid Pokemon will be legal, like Greninja, Cinderace, Charizard, Zoroark, all that stuff. Well, Zoroark wasn't in the raids, but anyways. I think a lot of the Pokemon Home Pokemon will be legal in the next rule set, which will absolutely change up the meta in a huge way. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But anyways, until then, let's enjoy my Staraptor team. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.